hi, I'm Nasma and I'm a mum of two. I've got Lorena who turned 4 in April, and I've got Leandro who turned 2 in February, and they both come to Hoppers Crossing Montessori. So Lorena used to go to another childcare, well actually 3-year-old kinder, and Leandro was with us at home, and at that time for about a month we had a couple of issues with that centre. And we weren't really too happy, and we wanted to move her out before it started to impact her personally. So we started to visit a couple of centres, go in, get a vibe for the centre, because we really wanted to make sure that the one that we moved her to was going to be long term until she moved into school. This one was recommended by a friend. We actually had a couple of recommendations by friends, and we went to visit them, and this was the last one. But I did hear it was really hard to get into this one, high demand. And I spoke to Preeti, who organised to come in and have a look at the centre, and instantly when I came in and brought Lorena, I don't know, I just felt like this was going to be the place that she would feel very comfortable. Lorena is very artistic and free-spirited, and as soon as you walk in and go down the halls with the bird at the end, the way the activities are in the room, we walked out and Lorena said, this is exactly where I wanted to go. And we like to make sure that Lorena is very involved in decisions that we make. And so we spoke. There was, we were actually very lucky. There was a placement that was available, but we needed to give notice at the other centre. And being that we had Leandro who didn't go to a centre, we were able to also get him a spot the following month. So it was good to be able to get both our kids in the centre. And that was our journey to bringing Lorena and Leandro from one centre to another, and it was by far the best decision we've made. Since we've joined the centre, it's, I think everything, I don't think there's anything that we've disliked about this centre. Everything from the culture, the team, you just feel like a family, and the care that they're giving both my kids, I feel like they're looking after their own kids. I love the Montessori approach and the independence that is taught to the kids. Like, what they learn here is what we teach them at home. So, you know, it's not something foreign to them doing it here and then doing it at home. Like I said, Lorena is very artistic and she's able to express that here very freely. One thing I do like, and we didn't see that previously, not here, somewhere else, is the parent-teacher interviews. And it starts so young, and it wasn't something that I would anticipate that would happen at childcare and kinder. And when you sit down with the educators and teachers, they're actually going through child by child exactly what is going on, what they're seeing your child growing in, areas of improvement, how together as a team we can actually work to address those things, and whether it's actually educational, you know, something that's not educational, what plans can we do it, and then when you pick them up or at any time you're able to have that chat with them and see how they're progressing, and that's been for both of our kids. So yeah, that's worked really, really well for us. And, you know, Lorena and Leandro have gone from kids not wanting to go to childcare kinder to now waking up in the morning and saying, is this our day? They don't cry, they enjoy it, they love their educators, they love Preeti when they come in, the greeting, the goodbye, you know, the feeling of being welcomed. If I've ever had any issues or need recommendations for anything whatsoever, you know, they'll always go above and beyond to find those recommendations for us. Yeah, they've always been so accommodating and made us feel very welcomed. And, you know, comparing it to another place that we went to where, you know, I felt like our daughter was a number, here I feel like she is an individual child who is really, really taken care of, and I've actually seen both her and Leandro grow drastically since being here, academically and as a person. So for Lorena, when we first started here, it was really hard for her to make friends, and she would gravitate a lot towards the teachers and tag along with them all day, and that was something that we worked a lot with her, because outside that wasn't normal for her, but in this setting it was. So we worked together really closely with her teachers, and now she has no problems. I come here, she doesn't want to leave, she wants to play with her friends. Same with Leandro. You know, when he first started, he would actually, a way for him to show excitement is that he would, you know, go towards someone and not understand that personal space, and now he also knows how to show personal space, and now he is able to make friends and play with them and express and words. And for him, actually, we were quite concerned about his vocabulary. He was quite delayed in speaking, and now we can't get him to stop speaking. So the help that they've given us here has been amazing, and to have Lorena come out of her bubble and really express how she's going has been really, really great. So Montessori didn't play a massive role at the time when we were deciding about a centre. We did want something that was going to be allowing our kids to be independent, and yes, Montessori definitely did allow that, but coming from a non-Montessori centre before here, we were exploring Montessori centres, but I think the reason why it wasn't so critical is because prior to this one, I'd visited 3 other Montessori centres and they didn't show Montessori, so I didn't really have the best example of what Montessori was. But coming here, I think it really changed that experience for us, and it did show how important Montessori is. From such a young age for both of our kids, we've never really done a lot of research into Montessori, but we've always been very independent, treat your kids like little adults, get them to do things for themselves. So, you know, when coming here and they do that here, and it's continued to teach them more even than what we were doing at home, it actually, I wish I had come here earlier and probably explored more Montessori from ages ago versus how, I think we've only been here for a year. I wish it was something that we'd done it, and also in the style of how they teach the kids. Like if I think about the 1.5 years of the previous centre, where it's play-based centre versus what they do in Montessori, the growing in a year and the learning in a year versus a 1.5 years, it is drastic. So the approach that they take at this centre has been amazing. It's phenomenal. My advice to any parent would be to book a tour and just walk through the halls, have a look at the rooms, understand a little bit more about the curriculum and how it works, how Montessori-based learning works, have a chat to Poonam, express what it is that you're actually wanting for your child, because for us and our family, it was by far the best decision ever. Everyone that I've spoken to, the other parents that I've spoken to here have said exactly the same thing. Obviously I can't speak on behalf of others, but for us, the growth that I have seen in both of our kids has been phenomenal, and I wholeheartedly have this centre to thank. You know, together we've been able to achieve that, and so I say book it, come and have a chat with them, come and see it for yourself, because you know, I can sit here and talk a million words, but unless you experience it for yourself, you're not going to really know how amazing this centre really is.